Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a complete Kalgara deck profile for you guys. I think this is the most meta-viable leader of the OPOA set. I think the other leaders are more fun, and I do look forward to playing them, but this deck hits incredibly hard and super fast. And best of all, it's budget. It's like $30 to make. So, if you don't know what the leader does, for 1 Dawn attached, when attacking, play up to 1 Shandoran Warrior type character from your hand with the cost equal to or less than the number of Dawn cards on your field. If you do, add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. Now, that means if you're at 0, you actually can still use this effect, and that does matter because we're yellow. We have recovery cards. So, getting right into it, we have 4 Upper Yard. Upper Yard is your searcher. It differs because it's a stage, and it actually can grab itself. Now, don't be afraid to play an Upper Yard over an Upper Yard, even though you haven't used the previous one, because we don't actually play too many cards that actually get rid of Upper Yard for any kind of advantage. There are a few, but to be honest, most of them aren't great. So we usually mostly use this for a cycle to actually grab the pieces that we want. And then next we have another searcher. We have your Shuras. This is the same. We are playing it early simply to grab our attackers, our pieces. So our bigger Shandoran Warriors, our Wiper, our Kalgaras, and this one can't search itself. All right, so a little bit unusual, but we're going to start with the boss just because he doesn't really do anything other than, he's a vanilla. So stat line 618. We want to go second so that on our 3rd turn for 1 Dawn attached on our leader, we drop him out. That's why we play a bunch of searchers so we can grab him. He is our biggest body, and once you drop him, you still have 5 Dawn left open, which is why you actually get to summon, 11 up to 11 cost immediately on your turn 3, which is crazy. So one of the 5 costs that we do drop is this Wiper, and this is the only card we play that actually cycles your Upper Yard into a +1. So on play, you may place 1 stage with a cost of 1 at the bottom of the owner's deck. Look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal an Upper Yard or Shandoran Warrior type card, and add it to your hand. So, basically cycle up your Upper Yard. Now, what's funny is that it doesn't say it has to be yours. So, you could be going against a mirror match and you don't have an Upper Yard out yet, and your opponent does. So, you can get rid of their Upper Yard. Or, funny enough, remember, Kingdom of Germa is also a 1-cost stage. So, if you're going against Reiju, which we will be seeing Reiju since that's the other fast deck. That is our replacement for Red Purple Law, right? Because in Japan, they had Red Purple Law through this entire format. For our format, for our OPOA format, it's been hit. And people have been jumping on the Reiju train. So, we can get rid of their Kingdom of Germa, which is hilarious. All right, and then another card we have is we have 4 Ohm and 4 Holly. Ohm searches the Holly, plays the Holly, and that's another reason why we want to go second, is because on turn 2, we, just swing with Kalgara, drop an Ohm, drop a Holly, get our board super wide, super massive. If you have curve, so if you drop Ohm on turn 2, which then drops Holly, and then you drop, Wiper and Kalgara on turn 3, you essentially have already played 18 cost. 18 cost. 4 + 5, 9 + 9. Yeah, 18 cost as soon as you hit 6 Dawn, which is crazy, especially considering how big these cards are when it comes to attack. Next, we have 4 the new Wipers. So on play, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Upper Yard, add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom and play a Upper Yard. Mainly just for the 2K, but if we did end up going first and we haven't hit 6 Dawn, we do still want to start spamming on turn 3. Turn 3 is important because we really do want to start spamming there. If we don't have, anything else, 4 cost-wise, if we don't have Ohm, we do want to drop the Wiper with our Kalgara effect, and then, drop Ohm or drop a Wiper to start searching for, Kalgara or something else to play. Next, we have 2 Frankies. I was not originally playing this. I was actually playing more defense. Since this is really for the defense, I was actually playing more El Thors and stuff. But if we have our early curve, we use up all our Dawn. So we actually can't use any of these simply because we don't have a Dawn left over to use to defend with. So I actually needed more hard counters. So which is why I tossed in these. So and then he has a pretty good trigger effect. So draw one, and then if you have 1 life or less, play this card. Anything to get a free body out on board is great. Now, because we do have, we want more 5-cost characters with effects so that when we do play on turn 3, our Kalgara, we have 5 Dawn left. We do want to play other 5-cost. So I want to have more options. So we have 2 Gatus. The reasons I'm not running this at 4 like old, yellow decks used to is simply because this deck hits super fast so that his effect diminishes over time. He's really there to drop immediately, like on turn 3. And that's only if they actually have something out, right? They don't always have something out. And if we do need it, we play 8 searchers and then other cards that search the searchers. So, having it at 2, I think is fine. Now, we have our only recovery card in this deck, at least by main effect, which is Mont, Blanc, Noland. On play, if your leader has Shandoran Warrior and you have a Kalgara out, you have to have the Kalgara character out. Add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. So it's our only recovery. Now, what's really annoying about this card is it's a giant in botanist. We can't search this. There's no card that searches this. And I guess that's fair, so that you can't, play a Kalgara immediately and then have a quick, easy, accessible recovery card. I guess. I don't even think it would make it that broken if it was searchable, but, whatever. Next, we have 4 Storis. Trash a card, play this card, anything to get a body out on board early, but really also a searchable 2K because it is Sky Island. Next, for our other attacker, we have Portuguese Ace. Now, the reason this deck is like $30 is these Ace are like $6 a piece. So, and I don't think it'll go up that much, even if people are starting to pick them up, because this comes from a deck that is guaranteed 2 of, so there's a limit to how expensive these can get. But because we can actually, since we reduce our own life, we get down to 2 life pretty quickly. So this comes out with Rush, so we're swinging 7/7/7 like turn 4. Like as soon as we hit 8 Dawn, we have 3, 4, 5 attackers hitting good numbers each. Your opponent can't deal with all of that, so that's why. And because we have no way to search it, so that's why I play 4. And then finally, we have our event cards. So we have 4 of the new event, The Earth Will Not Lose. Counter, if your leader has a Shandoran Warrior type, this card gains 3,000. So this is basically guard point, but it has a secondary effect of play an upper yard from hand. So if you have an extra upper yard, in hand, drop it, grab a card, either grab another defensive card like a 2K, or something, or grab your Shandoran Warrior, something Sky Island, so that you can play on your next turn. This is great because, if you have like exactly 1 Dawn left, you don't have to make the choice of playing an upper yard, and you don't have to make the choice between upper yard and defense. You're just delaying when you play the upper yard. So when your opponent attack, you activate this, and then you get the guard, and then play the upper yard. So it's for 1 Dawn less, basically. You save a Dawn. And then it has a neat little trigger with draw 2, trash 1. So you don't really plus anywhere off of that because, you're only plussing 1, but you're really losing this card. So you don't really plus anywhere. But it's good for the cycle because sometimes your hand does get a little bricked up with stuff you don't want to play, or your board is full, so you don't have anything else you want to drop out on the field. So, this way you could potentially draw into your aces or game finishers easier. And then finally, we have 2 200 million volts Amaru. Now, originally, I actually was running Blaze Slice because it's nice, because it's a permanent 1K counter during the turn. And it's a counter. It's a main / counter. It's a permanent 1,000 for the turn. So, and then if you have 2 or less life, rest up on one opponent's cost 4 less. Now, the reason I stopped playing this is because early game, we use up all our Dawn just for the summon. So if we go second, we, play Shura. That's all 2 of our Dawn. Turn 2, we play Ohm, which then uses up all 4. And then on turn 3, we play Kalgara and then a 5 cost, which uses up all 6. So turns out I didn't really need the counter, especially if I had to pay for it. So that's why I took this out. 400 million volts, because essentially it also rests a 4, but I actually get a plus 1,000 difference here. So for 1 Dawn, I get 1,000 back. So it nets to 0. This, I actually get a plus 1, but this is actually searchable, while this is a Land of Wano. So this is searchable, and plus it has a better trigger effect. So you could actually recover and save yourself off of this, as this only has a rest one of your opponent's characters that cost 4 or less. I did originally play like El Thor, these, and I even tried You're the One Who Should Disappear, but they didn't work out as well, simply because I didn't have the Dawn or the cards to throw them away with, simply because we're trying to hit really hard. Now, I will have some gameplay of this out later this week. Let me know your thoughts, things you want to try, and thanks for watching.